The meta is still evolving. Let's take a look. Hi guys, welcome back to Casting Commons, the show where we talk and discuss all things Pauper. I am your host Teasdale, and this is my co-host, the Boulder Branch Golem himself, Reese.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Yeah, good. That was in a different order. Usually you have a spiel before you ask me how I'm doing.
I know,
I was distracted.
I like to catch you off guard sometimes, you see, that's all. Just keeping you on your toes.
Interesting anecdote. Let me think of one. My in-laws just come back from the States, and I got them to pick me up some of the second oldest card game ever printed, with obviously Magic being the first.
Yep.
If anyone doesn't know, it's called Redemption TCG or CCG. You're not allowed to trade them; they're just collectible cards.
Yep.
So I thought it'd be interesting to pick some of that up and see what that's like. You basically can't get it anywhere other than like 3 states. So it was quite a task to get it organised. But I have some starter decks, so I'm going to be jamming some of that on the side of Pauper F&M this week.
Nice. Love to see it. It looked quite fun, to be fair, in the grand scheme of things.
It looks interesting.
I just find it really funny how they basically have made it a CCG because trading specific cards that it is referencing doesn't sound like a good image. It just tickles me. And if you don't know what we're referring to, just Google it, is my advice.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is the second oldest card game.
Always a cool thing.
Second oldest continuous card game.
Yeah.
Because it basically after Magic is just ran since. I'm not even sure when after Magic it started. I don't think it was long after. Because it was basically after Magic caused a lot of turmoil with its little devil pictures.
Yep.
They started this as an alternative.
Yeah, which is quite funny, really, in the outlook. But yeah, it looks like, to be fair, looking at it, like reading the cards, it seems like it does actually have a semi-interesting design. So looking at it from the perspective of a card game and not the flavour, I could see it being potentially interesting. But I guess it depends on how it plays. Yeah. But yes, as Reese said, I normally have a little spiel. So before we dive into the challenges, do not forget to support us by rating us 5 stars on Spotify, following us on Twitter at CastingCommons1 for the most recent Pauper deck lists, and of course, subscribing to us on YouTube. So we're just going to dive straight into the housekeeping, really. No Pauper Thought of the Week this week. Didn't really have anything to talk about wise, but so all is good. So there was a upstate New York Pauper Open this weekend. We do not have the deck lists. So it might be something we look at covering when I am back. So just to clarify, next week we have a bonus episode, which we have already recorded, so put that into perspective of how we talk on it. I often confuse my life, to be honest. But yeah, we have already recorded that, so that'll be out next week, and then we'll be taking a week off, and then back again after that. So moving into tournament news, there was Upstate New York Pauper Open. So we'll cover that when we get back, as I mentioned. Pauper Spezl 3 is on the 25th of April in Munich, Germany. Always good to see them popping off. And then also, there is the London Pauper Showdown on the same weekend. That is number 4, the Darkest Ritual. This is a IPT or whatever it's called. Goes LPI. Goes towards Geddon. Goes towards Geddon for a buy. There is also one in Bristol, which we keep saying we will add. I'll make sure we add that for when we come back as well. That is much further out though. That is in like June, I think. Equally on the same weekend is Geeks of Galaxy, April 26th in Spennymoor. That is a winner box, which is going to be a pretty cool event. A lot of good events popping off in the north of England So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good to see. I think just a lot of paper events popping off in the UK in general at the moment, which is really cool. And they're all seem pretty well attended as well, which is nice to see.
Definitely. Very sweet to see. Very sweet to see just Magic in the UK popping off, and also just Magic, well, Pauper in general, but just popping off everywhere. Yeah. It's always good. And then finally, before we join, before we talk challenges, do not forget to join our Discord. Obviously, great way to support us, great way to interact with us, great way to put towards any of the PlayPoint code giveaways that we do for the listener questions, and just even give us general feedback and stuff. So it's always a good way just to keep in touch. And we'd really appreciate for next week's episode that we recorded yesterday. That'd be a really good one, because obviously it's not the normal challenges. So it'd be really good to hear what you thought on that episode without us talking challenge. Zaz.
Yeah, because we can change it up. If people really like stuff like that, there's the potential to do more.
Yeah, definitely.
Swap them out or whatever.
Yeah. Which is a really key thing to obviously know. This show is basically what you want to hear. If you want to hear us talk more competitive, less competitive, brews, challenges, whatever you want, the only way we know is obviously getting in touch. So, yeah, definitely. Give us some feedback. Let's talk about the 4 challenges. Not as well attended as the week before, which obviously the bank holiday weekends and the holidays and Easter and stuff definitely had the showing for that. But hey ho.
Still not too bad though. No. Thursday the 9th of April is the first one. 48 players. First place was Rakdos Madness. Second was Blue Black Fair. Second was Blue Black Terror, sorry. Third was Blue Black Fair. Fourth was Gardens. Fifth, Mono Red Madness. Sixth, Jund Wildfire. Seventh, Grixis Affinity. And eighth, Blue Black Terror. Then the 2 near misses, 9th, Elves. And 10th, another copy of Blue Black Terror. I guess there's a few sort of points to look at this one. And the first, for me, is the red-black list that won. Once again, is the super clean mana base list that we both like. Essentially just 4 Jagged Barrens, 2 Razor Trap Gorges, and a bunch of basic lands. No Karoos, no Bajuga Bogs, no Artifact lands. Basically just no faff. Just the 4 ping lands that you really like, a couple of extra dual lands, and then just basic lands.
Yeah, I really like this.
Yeah. I think this deck in particular I find it always struggles if you have a land that's just tap land.
Yep.
You can afford 1 on turn 1, but on turn 2 you need an untapped land to set up your highway robberies, to play your Vampire's Kisses, to loot and cast imp and stuff like that. You need 2 mana on 2. So when it's Drossforge Bridges, Jagged Barrens, Karoos, stuff like that, it always seems to just make it what's the word, less impactful, because you lose that turn 2 power a lot of the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that is the power of the deck, obviously, is the 2 drops, right? Or even the Faithless plus something.
The plays on 2. And then it even goes further, on 3. You want 3 untapped lands, so you can, again, grab the prize Fiery Temper or grab the prize Kitchen Imp. If you've just got a bunch of tap lands, it doesn't line up very well.
Yeah, definitely.
If you've got 2 tap lands in a basic, do I have my 2 mana on 2 or do I have my 3 mana on 3? Which do I weigh more? So I think just having essentially a bunch of basics and a couple of jewels that come in untapped frequently is pretty good.
Yeah.
I would be tempted to say you could get close to cutting the Razor Trap Gorges for just more basics, but you may be cutting it fine there.
Yeah, I think to be fair, the close to it's obviously probably one of the better dual lands after Jagged Barrens, right? Because at least it has quite a high chance to come in untapped, even probably as early as turn 3, turn 4. So
yeah,
which is a pretty good solid one. you might have to make like strange, not strange, but like misaligned turns, I guess, to an extent. Like you might end up having to attack or do something first before you play your land and stuff like that, just to get it untapped. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad one.
Yeah, I suppose like if you have double basic trap, you can like Epicure turn 1, Luton plus Kitchen Imp turn 2, and that's turn 3. Your land's in untapped, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So like it's more than doable. Like with just reasonable draws, essentially.
And you don't even need like something like Faithless. Like obviously the Epicure does it for you as well. So it like literally can just be Epicure Kitchen Imp 200.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you could just be like Epicure Pop Blood Kitchen Imp. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it seems like a solid choice is the main thing. It is close to an untapped land. So interestingly enough, for me, 2 Contaminated Ground in the sideboard.
Yeah. Cool one, sort of coming back, I guess.
Must be obviously the main reason they're in there is for like Forest Utopia's Brawl or Tron generally.
Yeah.
That's
I think at
lot
the
of respect.
moment it's definitely more Tron, right? Or basically only Tron, because Bogles is just nowhere to be seen, and Red Green Ramp is again nowhere to be seen, essentially.
Yeah.
Is there any other? I can't even really see that many other hedge gates where you bring it in. It might be okay against control, like Ramsey type control, maybe if you're like hitting Karus or just hitting lands and like using it as a pseudo burn spell, like dealing 4 damage because they have to tap the lands. But definitely most of the time you just want it against Tron, right?
Yeah, I guess you get awkward with FAMs and stuff like that, or anything with Ghost of Flicker, because they can just flicker the land, right?
True.
But yeah, it is. I agree. I can't think of any other use, but that just shows obviously the respect for Tron, right?
Yeah.
Like you're probably not bringing this in against, I don't even know, something that has. I can't even think of anything. Like Madness, I guess, needs a lot of mountains, but you're not bringing that in against Madness at like any time of the day. Yeah, must literally just be for Tron, which is again good respect for the deck. Deck seems to be doing really well right now.
Other standouts: Blue Black Terror. Pretty good weekend for Blue Black Terror with 3 copies in the top 10. This deck at the moment seems like the Terror to be on. Mono Blue is definitely, it's not fell off completely, but it's definitely on the downtrend at the moment. Mainly because Snuff Out and Snacker are really good. Yep. So it's better to have those in your Terror deck than to not have them.
Yep.
But yeah, the blue black lists, they seem to be getting a lot cleaner as well. From what we're seeing, like we often see like a bunch of one-offs in them, but for the most part, especially the 10th place one, I quite like, with like not even playing Murmur Mystic and stuff in the main.
Yeah, it has 2 like vampiric links right in the main.
Yeah, it's instead of the Unexpected Fangs, it's like that same slot. Which I can take it or leave it really, but it just, there's like no random one-offs anymore. It's just like your threats are set, you draw spells, your removal spells are set, you've got 2 vampiric links and 2 spell pierce. It's like the flex. But you're not running like the one of Murmur and Mystic, or the one of Suffocating Fumes, and one of Unexpected Fangs, one of Deep Analysis, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Which I prefer, just a clean list.
Just putting it into perspective for Thursday's challenge as a whole, like talking about the Blue Black Terror. Blue Black Terror was the most played deck in the entire challenge with 11 pilots. It was 23% of the meta. It did have obviously a negative win rate with the amount of pilots and 3 of them top 8'd, as expected. But then putting that into perspective to Terror, like Mono Blue Terror, there was only 2 pilots playing Mono Blue Terror.
It's tough.
Yeah,
the black definitely seems like the place to be. I guess I speak about this next week. But I've tried the essentially Mono Blue with Snackers in, you basically have cut the delvers, cut a couple of draw spells, and put in abandoned attachment, snacker, and a dual land. And it didn't really feel enough of an upgrade over just plain delver. But this, like, I can see why you would go down the blue-black route, having your snuff outs, having your couple cast downs, having your life gain spells, and alongside the snackers as well. Seems like a pretty good place to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. I still am unsure on Gurmag though. Like, how close are we to just putting Cryptic Serpent in that slot? Because we're not playing basic swamps anymore. Like, the Cryptic Serpent is just always the same, like, castable. And it doesn't, like, deteriorate on your terrors, on, like, risk the snackers, stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess for me, the big thing is it dodges Snuff Out, right? Like, obviously, a lot of people are playing Snuff Out, so therefore it gets better in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That is probably a big enough upside to justify it, really.
Yeah, I think so.
The only other deck, really, I wanted to touch on for this challenge is Sheeb's elf list in ninth. Not trying a whole lot new in the main deck. Basically moved onto the Sagu list.
Yep.
Pretty hard on the Sagus as well with 3.
Yep.
But other than that, the main is basically as you would expect. But the side is where it gets quite interesting. There's 4 primordial pachyderms and 3 lignifies to sort of be monstrous emergence 7, 8, and 9. But the pachyderm is the main thing really to focus on for me. Obviously, we've spoken about this before with the 2 lives sort of not really ideal. It's not really enough. But from playing a lot of elves, I've found that the being 1 less mana than the paladin, or being the same mana but getting it immediately, as you would have to plot the paladin, like, super relevant. 4 mana is so much easier in the elf deck than 5 mana. And the way Sheeb's built this sideboard as well, because the pachyderm also has reach, it sort of fills the Vitu Inspector role. If you need something against, like, the decks with flyers, you put in your pachyderms. If you need the big threat, you put in your pachyderms. If you need the threat against life, you put in your pachyderms. Like, it sort of feels like it's filling. It's not better than any of those cards individually, but you can cut, like, 8 cards to just run 4 of this card.
Yeah, I find it really interesting. So I've played 2 decks this last weekend with the 3-2 split of Pachyderm and Spinewood in. And it's... So obviously, your sideboard, like, all 15 cards come in for Madness or, like, close to.
Pretty much.
And in that instance, it's pretty much always worse than Spinewood, right? Because obviously the number on the life gain is infinitely less.
Yeah.
But in the matchups where you're just going, I'm gonna just play some lands and cast some bombs, it is just better. Like, as you say, it's just a 4/4 reach and trample is very relevant.
Yeah. Also, the Madness one is interesting to me as well. I haven't tested it as much as I would like, but the games that I've had, it just being 4 mana and being there, like, you gain less life, but your clock starts a turn earlier than it would otherwise, which sort of, because the Madness matchup, you really have to put the pressure on them, or they've got to draw more Fire Blasts and more Lava Darts and you'll lose. So you have to get them dead, and it coming down a turn earlier than the Paladin has been, like, super relevant to just, right, I'm going to actually just smash you.
And also blocking Snacker as well, which you don't have that many flyers. Yeah, as well. Yeah, I found the same. Like, it is a strange one that I still think I probably would want 4 Paladins, because that matchup is that much worse. Like, but I do think it's better than I gave credit for because the 4 mana and being a reach trample threat in the non-madness matchups is surprisingly relevant. Like blocking Skyfisher and trampling through, like 4/4 trample is still pretty relevant.
It's the Black-White Blade matchup as well. It's obviously a lot better because it can stop their pressure on you. You basically just grind each other. Eventually, they run out of removal spells. If you're left with a pack turn, they then cannot pressure you. You've got time to just draw another threat and play another threat.
Yeah.
Whereas otherwise, you try to play like Vitagazi Inspectors as like a 2/4 to like stop them attacking you, and it's just not a threat by itself.
Yeah. It's pretty
cool to see.
It's interesting to see how their lists come together.
Yeah,
for sure. It'd be good to see if it does carry on. Like if obviously Sheeb ends up keeping that moving forward.
Yeah. Any other lists in this Thursday you want to touch on?
No, that's it for me.
So moving on to the Friday challenge, Friday the 10th. 54 players. First place was Blue Black Terror. Second place was White Weenie. Third and fourth were a pair of Jund Wildfires. Fifth was Grixis Affinity. Sixth was White Weenie. Seventh was Grixis Affinity. And eighth was Gardens. And then the 2 near misses. Ninth was Monstertron. And 10th was another copy of Grixis Affinity.
Mid-range
Grixis Affinity, absolutely everywhere. Yeah, mid-range heaven with Jund Wildfire, Grixis Affinity, Blue Black Terror Gardens, and then just 2 random White Weenies just chilling. The White Weenie lists, basically doing as White Weenie does, are just completely, seemingly random.
Yep.
The second place list, is I guess less so, but still has some weird cards in it. We are not on the Bugler package. We're still on Leonardo's, but just not on Buglers. Instead, there's a couple of Salt Road Pack Beasts.
Of course.
Just because. And a one-of Remorsian Rally, I guess, as instead of the third Guardian's Pledge or something similar. An interesting way to take it. I've been really liking the Bugler with the Leonardos in the deck. Obviously, it finds Leonardo. It always attacks fairly reasonably in Paupers into most creatures, because most creatures are quite small, other than Terrors, obviously. And then obviously you get value of resetting it with Leonardo or resetting it with Core Skyfisher. So it's always seemed quite good, but this list, I guess, just going down a different path.
Yeah, I guess the only big downside with Bugler, right, is its cost, right? Obviously, costing 3 can be a bit clunky, a bit slow. Obviously, with Pack Beast being pseudo 1, you sort of get a little bit more aggressive in theory. I can sort of understand that reasoning to an extent. But yeah, the Remorsian Rally is... I feel like it's a strange one. It's Remorsian Rally is I wanted a 4th Prismatic Strands, but I also wanted a 3rd Guardian's Pledge. So it sort of does this weird impression of both.
Yeah. Yeah, I sort of get that.
It's the only thing I can think of.
The 6th place list is even stranger. It's sort of gone down the same line of, I'm not going to play Bugler. I'm going to have this weird one of Remorsian Rally. They both are just the full mono white lists, no Karoos, no splash, just idyllic range planes. This one's a 61 card special because why not?
Because if you up the cards to 1 and then add the 4th Leonardo, you see it as equally 3, but you have 4 in your deck. Obviously.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess the standouts is 4 Leonardos, which is more than we normally see. Usually, I would say the number of White Weenie on average is 3. It seemed pretty set on 3 for basically every version, no matter if it was Splash and Red, Splash and Black, being mono white. But this one's chose to go with 4. There's also 2 Choco Mogs in there, which we've basically seen as completely disappeared since Leonardo came out.
Yeah.
To go with the 2 Choco Mogs, you've still got 2 Guardians Pledge and 1 Remorsian Rally. So it's very much split on, do I want
Pauperfest.
my Choco Mob to be the pump, or do I want the Guardians Pledge to be the pump?
Yeah.
And then to round it off, I guess the 60th and 61st card are 2 copies of Mana Tithe.
No one expects it. That's what it is.
No. But also, when do you hold up Mana Tithe in this deck?
When you
like turn 7.
Yeah, you're gonna basically, play a bunch of novice inspectors, Leonardo some back, and then you're on like 6 or 7, maybe even 5 land drops or something. You're like, I'm gonna crack a clue end of turn, and they go, I'm gonna tap out for a Lorien reveal, and you go Mana Tithe, and you're like, woohoo! And then you move on with your day. That is basically it.
It is a very strange one, because you basically just want to go 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 for Battle Screech, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you miss all the turns where Mana Tithe is relevant, and then hope to just like snipe something with it late game.
Yeah, Lorien revealed. That's what it's there for.
Yeah,
you tap out on 5 for a Lorien revealed, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, I got him.
I feel like you were either winning that game anyway or losing that game, even if you counter it. So.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah. Very, very, very peculiar list. Even to the point of like the 2 Choco Mogs, like 2 Choco Mogs, 2 Guardians Pledge split. Seems very strange, but
yeah, I think like out of the 2 lists, the first one without the buglers, I can sort of pseudo get behind the idea of I'm going to draw better, and then I'm going to use inspectors like the clue tokens later on to sort of recoup when everything's gone to shit, and I'll rebuild and then go from there. Like, I can get behind that, not having the 3 drops in there. But yeah, the other list, the 6th place list, I'm like, what are half of these card choices?
Yeah.
Very odd.
The next deck that I wanted to look at is the Monstertron list in 9th. Obviously, this Monstertron list doesn't really change much, so this is sort of quite a drastic change from what we've seen of this list so far. Essentially, adding red to the deck with a single Wooded Ridgeline and 2 Fang Dragons in the main. You've also obviously got the Prophetic Prisms and the Crystal Grottos to be able to cast this Fang Dragon off. But yeah, interesting one. I'm assuming it's basically come at the cost of 2 Wretched Gryphs, right? Or a Wretched Gryph and an End, something like that.
Yeah, something along them lines, to be fair. The sort of like threats, like the spare threats, like after you Boulder Branch, your Brambleworms and your Colossus and your Killship sort of flicker a little bit, right? The numbers are slightly different. But yeah, adding Fang Dragon to the main is definitely a choice. Like, some have had Breath Weapon in the main.
Yeah.
But like, I can't... What I'm trying to understand is what's the benefit of Fang Dragon over Breath Weapon? Like, because it's a big creature you can cast later. Because you're not running... because you're not like lead the Stampede where it needs to be a permanent, I guess. Like, there's no... There's no like rumbles either. For like being a permanent. So it is just, it's a really, it's an awkward to cast guy that you can sometimes cast, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not even sure it's that awkward to cast. Like, you're not casting it like right away, obviously, but late game you've usually like tutored a spare expedition map has got like a Crystal Grotto for a Scry or something, and you've probably found a Prophetic Prism.
Yeah.
Like, it's not ideal. Like,
I guess you can cascade into it as well, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you can cascade in either half, right, as well? I'm assuming so.
I believe you could choose which one to cast, right? But that is, I guess, a big bonus over something like Breath Weapon is if you cascade into it and it's not good, it's just a threat.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of, like, this deck has a problem of it casts Maelstrom Colossus and then just hits like an expedition map. or an Ancient Starrens or a Candy Trail or something like that.
Yeah.
So reducing that by swapping the breath weapons for essentially a big creature. It's an interesting take. Although the 1 damage at the moment is much, much worse than breath weapon.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the probably the big thing is like making your Maelstrom Colossus even better, right? Is my only pull I can see now that I think about it. But yeah, that's fair. Interesting.
Yeah. And then the only other sort of thing from this list, which I guess is sort of becoming the norm, is 2 copies of Unfathomable Truths. It's not like set in stone, but I've seen quite a few lists with these in now. Just again as a really good spell to cascade into, and it's sort of a fine card to draw late. You draw 3 cards, make some spawns. You can utilise those spawns pretty well with all your Candy Trails and expedition maps and such. So
it's Lorien revealed?
Sort of, yeah. Yeah, it's the Tron Lorien.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I like it. Especially being instant speed, to be fair. Not that that matters that much, but it means that once you're sort of out of doing anything, you can just sort of hold up until they commit and then go from there.
Yeah. Basically the only thing this deck will ever do it.
Yeah. You crack a map end of turn, I guess. I've got a crack map open. Actually, it's 5 mana for an Unfathomable Truth. Got him. But yeah, also, it's pretty interesting.
Any other decks from this challenge you wanted to touch on?
I don't think so. Obviously, seems to be, was that Thursday and Friday we had Gardens as well. Spoiler, I do think we do end up with Gardens every challenge as well, which seems to be on a tear at the moment.
It is a hard one to judge because it's basically just all the same pilots.
Yeah, like obviously yesterday.
Or the same two pilots.
I was going to say Thursday and Friday are both noob, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing too crazy about the list. They're all running stock stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a one over Curse Marauder, I guess, in the main, but it's also 61 cards. So is that just throw a Curse Marauder in and see what it's like type thing? But yeah, I think Gardens is interestingly positioned because it seems to do well, but it seems to do well with like 2 people.
But nothing else for Friday.
Moving on then to the Saturday, 47 players. First place was Mono Blue Terror. Second place was Jeskai Scred. Third place was Mono Red Madness. Fourth was Blue Black Fair. Fifth and sixth were both Gardens. Seventh was Blue Black Terror, and eighth was Cogates. And then the 2 near misses, 9th Elves and 10th White Weenie. Discover End showing us that Mono Blue Terror is actually still good.
Discover N showing us that actually Discover N is still good.
Also true. The list is basically unchanged. They've cut a Dispel or a Spell Pierce, like one of the 1 mana counter slot for a 4th Ponder.
Oofed.
That is basically the change.
Crucial.
It's an interesting one because Team Luminati saying the other day as well that Dispel's either just really good or really awful right now. So it's interesting that they're sticking with it and not like putting Spell Pierce in that's sort of not as good when it's good, but also never really awful.
Yeah, it is an interesting one, right? I guess at least worst case scenario, you try and get rid of it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I also think when you want Dispel to be good or when it is good, like you want it. You don't want no half measure crap, I guess. Is I guess the thought. I imagine overall it probably makes the Dispel being good matchups infinitely worse. Being Spell Pierce, I think. Obviously, I'm just surmising. I am not any Mono Blue Terror expert, but that would be my thought.
The second place, Jeskai Scred or Jeskai Ephemerate, I guess. list. Seems to be like the go-to version of this list now. The wildfire versions very much fell off. And yeah, it's an interesting one. We spoke about the ethereal haze in the sideboard last week, I think.
Yeah.
This still has that in the sideboard, but has added one to the main as well. Which, if you're seeing a lot of madness, makes a lot of sense. If you're seeing a lot of creature decks, makes a lot of sense. 2 Bender's water skins in the main as well, which is slowly increasing in numbers.
Yeah, I was going to say it was 1, right, as like a stock, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. But I think it was 0, and then they were trialing it, and now there's just 2.
Very interesting.
For anyone who doesn't know, the weird Avatar Universe is Beyond card, it's a 3-mana artifact, essentially. 3 mana taps for any one colour, Darksteel Ingot. And it untaps during each other player's untap step. So you can use it in your turn and then use it in their turn as well.
3 mana.
Which makes quite a bit of sense in this deck. Obviously, it's cut wildfire, so it doesn't get ahead on mana in that way anymore. But it's also just like a super mana hungry deck. Like it always wants to be casting spell. It wants to basically cast every spell in its hand every turn if it can. So to have something like this that adds to, like, it can put your head in mana by itself just as a mana artifact, but then you can tap out for like a Lorien or a Muldrifter or something in your turn, and then untap and use a removal spell or use an Ephemerate or a Dispel or something in their turn. Seems quite good.
Yeah, definitely. I don't understand how relevant this will be, but I don't think it uses the stack either, right? It just untaps in their untap step, right? It's not like a trigger. It just, like, you get to your end step and then you move up into their untap and upkeep, and it's just there. It's just untapped, so you instantly have access to it. So there's no way of, like, you're tapped out, they go to their turn and then go, oh, look, I'm doing this before you get access to mana. You've just always got it.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I don't know how relevant that'll be, but it's interesting to note.
It's better than it going on the stack, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
Other than that, Mono Red Madness, Mr. Twin just continuing to smash with Madness. The main deck basically remains unchanged. And then, as we have touched on before, the end of festivities coming into the sideboard again is sort of now becoming a mainstay once more, which is interesting to see. Obviously, it was basically the go-to. You used to have 4 in your sideboard for such a long time, then it went to just none, and now it's slowly creeping back in, being relevant again. Other than that, I guess 2 gardens, Noob is still one of the 2 gardens. 3 of the gardens resulted from Noob. Still on the 61 card special with a Curse Marauder. The other list is, again, I would say a fairly stock Campfire Gardens list. 3 Troll, 3 Rat, 1 Hunter. 1 Drowning Sorrow, I guess, in the main is not the strangest thing, but interesting that it's just a one-off.
Yeah, it seems to be creeping back in the main. In obviously, Yuck's here choosing to have just 1 in, but it's definitely starting to go up in numbers, the Drown in the main, which is interesting. But yeah, nothing too crazy out of them. It seems to be as well that the Campfire Gardens are going up in Titan Blades as well slowly. They did have like 1 to 2 and now going back up. I guess that just showcases how good Titan Blade is right now, I guess.
Yeah, I think it is just, it's in a good place, right? It's just a useful card to have access to, for sure.
Yeah, there's not that much spawnage dotting around like there once was.
No. There's a lot less red-green.
Yep.
Only other thing for me was just another touch on an elf sideboard for Nubarola's 9th place list.
Yep.
Once again, for Primordial Pactum, it's like a stable slot. Taking the life gain another way, no paladins, but 2 Gnaw to the bones.
I I think we've seen this last week, right? Where they had Gnaws in the side, and it still seems odd to me. Like, I get, like, they're going to try and naturally kill your creatures and stuff, but it seems like a slow way to gain some life.
Yeah. It is an interesting one.
Without any way to feed your graveyard, really. Like, you've got, Wind and way to name lands. And that's not a good place to be, to me.
Hey, I did that in one game in Pauper again.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
I can imagine it definitely. Like, I'm assuming, like, it's not the awfulest thing. Like, you can wind and way to, like, name lands to, like, hit with Mass Vandal and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I needed to do.
yeah. Like, I can get the reasoning behind it. It has some niche spots, but is that really what you want to be doing against red? Wind and way on lands to then try and hit 4 creatures to gain 8 life for 5 mana? Sure, there's better ways to be gaining 8 life for 5 mana. Life goes on, and a kill spell. I don't know.
The other way to look at it is wind away for creature would put the Knot of the Bone in the graveyard. Is like the alternative way to look at it.
Yeah. I just, like, I get that, like, it's good to put in the bin, but, like, you're relying on your opponent killing your creatures for your Knot to be good, which is, I don't know. I don't know how much I like that. That's my only thought. I don't know. Not sold. Hard pass.
Any other list you want to touch on?
I don't. Where was it at? Oh, I just want to touch on the blue-black fair list.
Yeah.
It's the same as Bath's list that they played on, like, Thursday, I think it was. But it is a one-off sewer valence, right? Which seems to keep cropping up in these, like, blue-black fair lists.
Yeah, it's holding out.
Maybe it deserves the place.
Yeah, it is a weird one. Like, it just has that just enough utility, I think, to like, not deserve a place in the list, but, like, make you think about it and make you consider it. It feels very much like it can function like the Harrier Strict sort of slot in Mono Blue Fair. But then it has just, like, other outs where you just, like, flash it in and untap your Thorn of the Black Rose and block a Terror, for example.
Yeah.
Or, like, other stuff like that. Get a Ninja in with the tap and, like, Harrier Strix mode. And then, obviously, blue-black is a lot more willing to just sack it and draw 2 cards, or a lot more able to just, like, build up the mana and then sack it and draw 2 cards.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get behind that. It definitely seems to... It's just a useful thing to do, right? Like, I think the whole thing, everything on it is just fine for a card. And, like, its opportunity cost is pretty low, right? For obviously just a one-off.
Yeah, definitely. Just being, a 1-drop and, like, the worst case is you pay 4 mana and sack it down the line.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was all. Just that it seems to be in the lists and sticking around.
Moving on to the Sunday challenge then, Sunday the 12th. 67 players, so still a solid showing for the Sunday, even if the others were slightly down. First place, Mono Red Madness. Second place, Spy Wolves. Third place, Blue Black Terror. Fourth, Jund Wildfire. Fifth and sixth, Mono Red Madness. Seventh, Mono Red Sly. Eighth place, Gardens. And then the 2 near misses. Ninth was Boros Moxite, and 10th was White Weenie. So if we had the mid-range challenge just before, is this the aggro challenge?
Yeah, this is the aggro challenge.
With just a pile of Mono Red and a White Weenie and a Boros Moxite.
Yep.
An interesting one. Obviously, showing that Madness still is very much the real deal. Although another shown from Blue Black Terror is that a Blue Black Terror in every challenge top 8, right? Yeah. Second, first. Was it on that one? 7th and 3rd. So definitely a deck to look out for on the rise once again, the Blue Black list. And then I guess our first showing of Sly in quite a while. Not really trying anything new.
No.
It's it doesn't run the extra axe, I guess, is like the standoutish bit. Often for slightly more, but instead with the extra fire blast. But yeah, still just loads of random one-off creatures.
One drops and
2 gold hounds still making it in there.
Always amazes me that card makes the cut.
Only 3 bushwhackers as well, which I guess is quite interesting because it's one of the better cards in the list.
Yeah, that is surprising. And I can't understand the reasoning for that, but I guess they're expecting that they're not going to be able to go wide with a lot of the people preparing with breath weapons and Drowning Sorrows, Fang Dragons, and the festivities in the main. I guess they're just going to be like, I guess I'll just keep nubbing you with 1 or 2 guys, and Bushwhacker's not really going to do much. Maybe. Mm-hmm. I guess maybe it's the logic behind it.
Spy Walls in second.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting to see. This is like the first Spy Walls we're seeing. It's a deck that it was sort of everywhere not too long ago, and now it's like we're surprised it's there.
Yeah, it definitely seems to have fell off, right? And it's not like when I look, I go, oh, there's like everyone's packing Fairy Macabres. Like, don't get me wrong, Fairy Macabre is still around or whatever. It just seems that I think a combo deck like this that needs 3 creatures on the field and then to have the to fill the graveyard, find the 1 card. It's a lot easier for the like mid-range decks to interact with. I think now they've figured it out, if you know what I mean, like Gardens, like Affinity, like Jund, all that sort of stuff. They have the tools to sort of beat this deck.
Yeah, I think it's in a weird position where against the aggressive decks like Madness and Elves, for example, it's not fast enough. And then against the mid-range decks, it's not resilient enough. So it's like in that weird, like, no man's land where it basically wants to play against a really narrow slice of the metagame. And if it goes outside of that, it basically has to play just really well or like Goldfish on turn 4 every game to beat the fast decks, which it's just not set up to do. Like, you just can't do that. Which
also going back to like what Spy Walls was doing at one point, where they was trying to put like secondary win cons in like accidentally, like Avenging Hunter was a big one.
Yeah.
They're not really trying to do that anymore, which I also feel like that's ultimately where you want to be right now as well. So it surprised me that this list got so far.
Yeah, I mean, if you're facing a load of mid-range piles like Jund Wildfire, Blue Black Terror, stuff like that, Avenging Hunter, and having a bunch of Avenging Hunters as well, not just like 1 or 2, just having the full 4 and being able to cast them turn 3, turn 4, even like cast them back to back, cast 1 turn 3, cast 1 turn 4, like that's exactly where you want to be against these mid-range decks. So yeah, it is interesting that it's, I guess the other way you can go is you just try and make it faster, which is what this list's done with like adding 2 Lotus Petals and like cutting the Avenging Hunters, going up on like the Elves and the Tinder Walls and stuff like that. That's like the other angle is, oh, well, I'm going to struggle against the mid-range decks, but I'm going to be faster than the aggro decks.
Yeah, that's fair. And then just hope to out aggro the aggro in a sense with a combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting one. I'm not surprised to see Spy Walls, but it definitely feels like we're seeing a lot less of it than we used to.
Yeah, definitely.
Other than that, I guess the Boros Moxite's quite an interesting one again that we've sort of just not seen much. Not much Boros Moxite, but just not much Boros at all. Boros Synth has just like disappeared into the ether. And even this Boros Moxite list is usually just this one pilot, Vishino.
Yeah.
Just sort of plugging away at this list.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, they are putting up the results, right? Like, obviously a 9th here, a win last week. Like, they're doing sporadically, like, well, but it, again, is sort of similar. It's just like a one pilot thing. It'll be interesting to see if anyone actually played it at all on like any other day. So we don't have so Kirby didn't have the data for Sunday, but has the data for every other day. And it is literally there's no Boros on any of these that I can see.
No.
Like not even one copy that didn't do very well or anything like that.
It's not really surprising.
Yeah. I was just quickly scarring there just to double check. But yeah, not absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I guess the other thing, it's quite amusing to see like them change up the sideboards and stuff week on week. Like this week they've put like Volshock Sorcerer back in the deck. Sure. I can never ever understand the logic of this deck or this pilot's like decisions because, you know, like the run Galv Blast normally like they've got what, four artifact lands in the deck and stuff like that, and it always confuses the Life Army, like the card choices, but obviously they've fine-tuned this to their playstyle and it obviously works for them.
The only other thing that I wanted to shout out is I guess something specifically for you. 14th place, Hamuda on Mogwart still. Bringing it back. Honest.
Yeah. It's not nothing changed, right? Is like the difference a Kursma order in the main?
Yeah, I think it's a very, very similar list. It could be even just that one card different from what they played last week. But just interesting to see, like, it's not a misclick. They are actually trying to plug away with Mogwarts again.
Yeah, I actually did. I did message him. I asked him why. He hasn't got back to me yet, but probably blocked me for pestering about Mogwarts. But yeah, it was an interesting choice because I don't think this deck is well positioned at all at the moment. I actually think it's probably worse than it was pre-Turtles.
Yeah.
But obviously Hamuda is the GOAT with this deck. But I also know that generally when speaking to him, we have very different views on the deck.
Yeah.
But that might be a playstyle thing or whatever. Like I prefer versing like slower control decks, and Hamuda prefers playing against like it plays a lot better into like aggro or slightly slower like aggro decks.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool to see the result. Always nice to see some Mogwarts.
Other than that, there wasn't really too much else that I'd picked up on. I don't know if you've got anything else you want to touch on.
Where was it? The only other thing is I keep seeing briefly that some lists, like the Mono Red Madness lists, they're not doing anything like it's just the numbers seem to be going back into flux again. Like, I often felt like they were very set on, right, we're playing 3 Fire Blast, 4 Gutter Snipes, whatever. And I don't know, we're talking like one card here, but some lists now seem to be going back to like 3 Gutter Snipes instead of 4. And I just wanted to know your thoughts on why. Like, yeah.
So, I guess, in my view, these lists in particular, the 5th and 6th place lists, I would say are outliers. For me, the stock list is basically the first place list with the 3 Gutter Snipes. 3 Gutter Snipes, 4 Lutons, I guess is the main standout. And 3 Fire Blasts.
Okay.
I would say it's like the stock numbers for the main deck.
Okay.
But yeah, like you say, the 5th place list has gone to 4 Gutter Snipes. It's trying to one-off abandoned attachments as well.
Which is just wrong, surely.
Yeah. It's interesting. And it's cut 2 Lutons, essentially, to facilitate that. And then in a similar vein, like the 6th place list has cut 1 Luton to add an extra Gutter Snipe in. I mean, yeah, people do like 4 Gutter Snipes. For me, I always felt it was just too clunky. Because you don't really want to draw. You want to draw 1. You want to draw 1 and time it well.
Yeah.
If you draw 2, you've then got less spells to trigger the Gutter Snipe. Especially if you're still on the 4 Flame Breathers, like these lists are. Like, you don't want them both. A lot of the lists that were trying like weird stuff previously would like cut all the flame breathers and just put 4 gut snipes in and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I think we seen a list last week got like 4 gut snipes, 3 flame breathers.
Yeah,
but yeah, it just seems to be like what out of the norm now for some strange reason. I don't really understand why. Like at one point it was just like, right, everyone is on the same 60, if not the same 75, and then now we seem to be getting some flex.
I think that there definitely is space for development in that deck. Obviously, it's been pretty solved or looked pretty solved for quite a while. But there's definitely slots that are not wrong, but like feel suboptimal. Like Luton in particular. Like 4 Lutons is too many, but there isn't really a good replacement for the other 2. So you just see lists like sit on 4 Lutons, but it's usually the card like you see here that is cut. Like if you want to try some stuff, if you want extra gutter snipes, if you want to try like abandoned attachments, as this example is, you trim the 2 Lutons because it's the 2 cards you can easily cut.
And I know it's much of a muchness, right? But technically playing abandoned attachments is wrong, right? Because there is cards that
which
there's cards that do what you want to do, right? So there's Sazcaps, which is an instant draw 2, but discards at a cost. There's the Spider-Man Rendezvous whatever, which is a red instant, right, which doesn't have a cost. So you could discard on resolution, similar to abandoned attachments.
Yeah.
So like obviously, technically, in air quotes, it won't actually matter. By the way, technically can come up because it is blue. You can reb it, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that it matters, but it annoys me that it's technically not the right one.
That is that not the way that it is the right one though? Because it's not gonna. No one's bringing in Pyroblast against you. No one's bringing in Rebs against you.
Yeah, of course.
But like if you're playing against a blue deck, for example, you're bringing your Pyroblast and your Rebs. You need that ping to finish them off. You can abandon attachments and reb your own abandoned attachments. Where with the Rendezvous, you just can't do that. You just can't cast the reb. You're reliant on what you draw.
Interesting.
Like it's super, super niche.
Interesting.
And I'm not convinced it's better than Sazcaps for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to play another 2-mana discard on resolution, draw 2, like it is up there. I think I would play it over the Rendezvous just for that case because you're never getting Pyroblasted. Like it's
obviously. But
you have the out of being able to reb it yourself.
It's interesting to be fair for that thought process actually. Yeah, but obviously you are running for the most part. If you are running, you're running 4 Pyroblasts to 3 rebs, right? Because it's always But yeah, that is pretty niche. But on the most part, I was just about to say, but for me, I do think running Sazcaps is most likely better, right? In every instance.
I'm just going to pull up Sazcap Brew. So it is an instant, but it doesn't. The discard is as an additional cost. So you have to commit to the discard.
Which again is another debate if that's better or worse as well, right?
Yeah. Obviously, it's target, which is relevant against Spy. There isn't really any redirection, so it's not massively relevant outside of that. And the gift thing's sort of fine. Like you can gift and then get in for 3 with an Epicure or 4 with a Snacker or something.
Yeah. I would say, obviously, in that sense, I'd say it's more relevant than abandoned attachments. The only thing you're playing it for is the I do not discard as a
cost.
But again, there's an argument that it's actually better to discard at a cost because some cards you actually actively want to discard if it does get countered. But
it is a weird one.
We're talking about a one-off here, but yeah, it's still an interesting debate.
Super niche.
But yeah,
I think if I was personally wanting to play another draw 2, I would probably put the Sazcaps in.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
Just like the discard can be worse. but it has upsides outside of that with the like you randomly kill a spy player or the extra 2 damage is relevant. Like they're pretty legit upsides.
Yeah, and yeah,
I guess like going even deeper down the Reb rabbit hole is the Saz cap. You could promise the gift to give them a blue permanent, which you could then Reb anywhere. If you needed to cast a Reb for whatever reason. So it is literally just like the discard as a cost versus the utility of being able to give you guy +2 so.
Which, yeah, for the most part, let's be real here. Like in the red deck, it's pretty much Saz caps all the way, right? For them, I would say for the most part.
Well, or none of the way because you don't play.
Yeah,
it, but
yeah. You either play none, or if you're gonna play like a 9th 2-mana draw, it should be
yeah.
Saz caps over abandoned attachments. I remember seeing this and I just got annoyed it was there. I was like, why are you playing this? You're playing the two halves of this card's color. One of them never had access to this, and the other one has an infinite of them. Like, why was this your go-to? And that's all I remember seeing. I was like, what is this? But yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to see the Madness List try something else. Because I think there definitely is space to develop them there.
Yeah.
For a while, I've like cut Lutons for Chain Lightnings for like extra burn. Nowadays, I don't think that's right because there's just so much other Madness Lists. But yeah, I think there definitely is space, but maybe the cards just either haven't been figured out yet or we're still waiting on something being printed.
What they need to do is make the deck worse, cut 4 mountains and play 4 sandstone needles. No reason, just because it's funny. Do something random like that. Give it a go. Anything else to add?
No, I'm happy to move on.
So we've just got a quick listener's question. Should be fairly quick one this week. This one is from Hardmaster Dave, so congratulations on winning the player points. I will send you a message. And this question is, I have paraphrased this to shorten it a little bit based on what they wrote, but it's with set releases being so frequent and the format being so cyclical or adapting to itself with rotating metagames and stuff, is there any reason to unban anything? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I guess. I think for me, there's basically always a reason to unban something. Because just having a smaller band list is better than having a longer band list.
Yep.
In like the short of it is basically just if you have less cards on your band list, that is better. Assuming the format is fine, that is better for the format. It's easier for people to understand the format because they don't have to read 2 pages of cards to figure it out. They read like 10 cards and like, okay, I can't play these 10 cards. That's fine. And the stuff on the ban list, as we have seen, it outgrows it. The format outgrows it. Like Prophetic Prism now, if you looked at Prophetic Prism and said, oh, that needs to be banned, like everyone would just laugh at you. Which I'm not saying we didn't laugh at the time when they banned Prophetic Prism. But like you look at it now, it 100% does not need banned.
Yeah.
So it's fine to come off the ban list.
Yeah. As well, on a side note, like just as a semi-tangent, like something like Bonder's Ornament, there's questions I've seen people question if that needs to be on the ban list, and it's like, well, no one really plays a 3-mana mana rock, but then you just look at the Jeskai Scred deck that now plays the new Avatar mana rock, like that would obviously, like, to me, that seems like this, you play Bonder's Ornament here, it's a card draw mana rock now, and you know, there is pros and cons, and there's actually pros and cons to that. It's not like set in stone, it's not like this one's more mana, this one draws you a card. It's like, which one do you want to run? There's an actual pro and con. You didn't have that at that point. It was, you play this 3-mana mana rock because this mana rock is better. And you run it because, you know, like certain stuff like that. Like, the format does change, the format does outgrow it, and, you know, we are talking about a Darksteel Ingot here on the ban list. In the grand scheme of things, which is a strange thing to think about in the context of general Magic, but in the form of Pauper, it was oppressive at the time. Would it be oppressive now? I don't know. It might be too slow. Yeah,
it's interesting when you look at it. It's like the Tron lists that it was in are just not playable at all at the moment. I think Yeah, for me, there's always a reason to unban stuff. A smaller ban list is always good.
Yep.
The format just massively outgrows the cards on the ban list. Like all formats do it. Like I remember like starting to play Modern and Wild and the Cattle was banned. And you look at Wild and the Cattle now, it's like not remotely playable in that format.
Modern was a different time. Modern. Speaking of formats
that's like
evolving,
the extreme example.
like Modern's the missing link for humans to chimpanzees. Like it's that different. But yeah.
Pauper does the same in not as aggressive a manner. I think there's always, and especially now we have a vehicle on which to test unbans. I think obviously the High Tide trial unban and the Perfect Prism trial unban were very successful experiments. I wouldn't be opposed to them just doing that again and doing it more frequently. It adds a bit of spice to the format. If the format hasn't changed in a couple of sets, it adds a bit of spice, and it can just free cards that should not be on the ban list.
Yeah, definitely. Sort of mirroring the point of obviously you should always try and unban something. I actually go and look at it, slightly spin on it. To be honest, I think with the set releases being so frequent and the format changing to adapt to itself, I think the problem now is not that we should try and unban something. It's actually even harder to try and find a window to try and unban something.
Well, yeah.
And to me, that's the biggest problem we have now, is that we should be trying to actively take things off the ban list, but it's hard to find that because there's so much stuff being added or being changed. Like Geddon, there was obviously you had both turtles, and then the format, the top deck sort of changed. So it's like, where'd you find the window to try unbanning Bonder's Ornament or Hymn to Turak or whatever you want to trial? But I guess that's where the PFP come in, and there definitely should be, this set's not, it's been 2 weeks, we've had no impact, or 3 weeks, we've had no impact on this format. Maybe it's time to try a month of unbanning blah. Yeah. Pretty sweet question, but always nice to keep the ban list short. Ban list short equals good. Anything else to add?
No, that's it from me.
So guys, thank you all for listening. Again, just a reminder, there'll be a special episode next week. So please join the Discord, let us know what you think of that episode. Ignore the weird time and conversations because it's before this, but anyways. And then after that, again, we'll be missing a week as I'm sunning it up. But yeah, that is all from us at Cast and Commons. Thank you all for your continued support. Do not forget to tell your friends, your family, and of course, the person giving you a foot massage. Until next time, and don't forget to stay hydrated. Peace!
Bye.